Hello, welcome to Reading Success Academy. I'm Paula Smith, founder of Reading Success Academy and spellingclasses.com. Welcome to this training, how to get your child reading on grade level in 12 weeks or less, even if they have dyslexia. I'm excited to share this with you because this is my favorite topic. I love helping kids in their reading struggles and helping families in their worries. During this training, you're going to learn how to help your child become an independent, confident reader in just 12 weeks or less. Now, I know that sounds like a big promise, but I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. I'm going to share with you the same system I've used with hundreds of children who were years behind, children who hated reading, children who are told they may need to start thinking about future careers that don't require higher education. And by the end of this training, you're going to understand exactly why this works when other programs don't. Now, before we go any further, let me be really clear about who this training is for and who it is not for. This training is for you if you're a parent of an elementary or middle school student who's reading below grade level. You're a parent of a child with dyslexia or a child who's showing signs of other reading struggles. You've tried other reading programs without success and you're frustrated and don't know what else to do. You're worried about your child's academic future and their self-confidence, and you know that if they don't learn to read, everything else is going to be harder. Does that describe you? If so, you're in the right place. This training is not for you if you're not willing to be involved in your child's reading journey. This isn't a drop-off program. You're going to be a part of this. This is not for you if you're looking for a quick fix without any participation. Real transformation requires real commitment. This is not for you if you're not committed to following through with a 12-week program. If you're looking for a magic pill, this isn't it. But if you're willing to invest 12 weeks to give your child the gift of reading, to change their entire academic trajectory, then stay with me because this could be life-changing for your family. Here's what's going to happen by the end of this training. First, you're going to discover my 5-stage system that has helped hundreds of children become confident readers. I'm going to walk you through each stage, show you exactly how it works, and explain why it's so effective. That's secret number 1. Second, I'm going to show you how to get your child to buy into participating in the plan, even if they feel there's no end in sight and have tried everything. That's secret number 2. And third, I'm going to show you how to complete the program, even if you have a busy schedule. That's secret number 3. Now, for those of you who stay until the end, I have a very special offer. I'm going to give you the opportunity to enroll your child in our 12-week reading boot camp at a special web class only price that you won't find anywhere else. But even if you don't enroll right away, you'll still receive a free Phono-graphix video lesson with a worksheet packet to accompany the lesson. It will give you a sneak peek into how our advanced code lessons are taught. This is one of the 67 lessons included in our self-paced course. But here's the thing. This offer is only available for 48 hours after you registered for this training. After that, it's gone. So if you want to take advantage of this, you need to stay until the end, and you need to make a decision soon because we can only take 20 students for this next cohort. Okay? All right, let's dive in. Before I share the system with you, you're probably wondering, who is this person and why should I listen to her? That's a fair question. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've helped hundreds of struggling readers achieve grade level proficiency in 12 instructional hours or less, and over 4,000 children improve their reading and spelling skills. I specialize in working with children diagnosed with dyslexia. I'm a certified reading therapist by the Phono-graphix company and a certified elementary teacher by the state of Missouri. I developed a comprehensive reading program based on the 5 pillars of reading science: phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. These aren't trendy methods or guesswork. This is actually science, the science of reading. Research shows that all 5 pillars must be addressed for children to become strong readers. Most programs only focus on 1 or 2. My system integrates all 5 from day 1. I am now a Phono-graphix trainer, certified to train teachers in the Phono-graphix method so they can become certified Phono-graphix reading therapists as well. My organization teaches live online classes and provides tutoring services year-round from readingsuccessacademy.com and OutSchool. Over the past 6 years, I've worked with over 4,000 students on OutSchool, and I have over 700 5-star reviews from parents just like you. These are real families who have seen real results. Parents who are frustrated and scared, just like you might be right now, and who watch their children transform into confident readers. Now, all that's great, but this is what I'm most proud of. We have a 99% success rate in helping children reach grade level reading within 12 weeks. Now, I know what you're thinking. 99% success rate? Grade level in 12 weeks? What's the catch? Why haven't I heard about this before? And I don't blame you for being skeptical. You've probably been burned before. You've tried programs that promised results and didn't deliver. So here's what's important to understand. This is a systematic, proven method that has worked for hundreds of children in my clinic alone for over 25 years. And the reason it works is because it's designed for the way your child's brain actually learns to read. That's it. No gimmicks, just science. Now, there are some well-known programs that start at $6,000 and it can cost as much as $20,000 and take 1 to 3 years to complete. Our students complete their programs within 3 to 6 months, saving both time and money. And you probably haven't heard of this program before because it isn't as well known. Up until 2 years ago, I ran it all by myself. Now, I didn't start out as a reading expert. 25 years ago, I was just an elementary school teacher frustrated with the reading curriculum I was required to use. But I'm going to tell you that story in just a minute. First, I want you to take a moment and imagine something with me. Imagine your child picking up a book, not because they have to, but because they want to. Imagine the pride in their eyes as they confidently read aloud without stumbling over words or guessing. Imagine parent-teacher conferences where you hear about your child's academic progress instead of concerns about their reading. Imagine your child raising their hand in class, eager to participate, no longer afraid of being asked to read. Imagine homework time without tears, arguments, or frustration. Just focused learning and growing confidence. Imagine your child developing a love for reading that opens doors to knowledge, imagination, and future academic success. Imagine the relief of knowing that your child's reading struggles are behind them, and now they have the foundation for lifelong learning. Does that sound like the picture of what you want for your child? I know that's what I wanted for my kids. Now I want you to know something. This isn't just a dream. This is the reality for hundreds of families who have gone through my program, and it can be your reality too. But here's what I need you to understand. It's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen by doing the same things you've been doing. It's not going to happen by hoping your child will just catch up on their own. It's going to happen because you make a decision right now to do something differently. And that's what this training is all about. So let's talk about how to get your child reading on grade level fast without stress and frustration, because right now, if you're like most parents I work with, reading time is stressful and frustrating. And if you're nodding your head right now, you're not alone. Let me guess what you've already tried. You've tried the school-provided reading intervention programs. Maybe they helped a little, maybe they didn't help at all. You've tried private tutoring. You spent money, a lot of money, and saw minimal results. You've tried reading apps and online programs. Your child played the games, but they're still not reading. You've tried reading more to your child, thinking that if they just enjoyed story time with you more, maybe they'd be inspired to read on their own. You've bought flashcards, workbooks, and every store-bought material you could find. You've watched YouTube videos and tried free online resources. You've pushed your child to try harder, which usually just ends in tears and arguments. Or maybe you've just been waiting it out, hoping they'll eventually catch on. And here's the worst part. None of it has worked. Your child is still struggling, they're still behind, and you're running out of ideas. And you're scared. And I don't blame you. You're scared that they're going to fall further behind. You're scared that they're going to hate school. You're scared that they're going to give up on themselves. Am I right? I'm pretty certain I'm right because I've had this exact conversation with hundreds of parents. But please know this. It's not your fault or your child's fault. The reason those things didn't work is because they weren't designed for the way your child's brain learns to read. Here's what most people don't understand. All brains don't learn to read the same way. Some children's brains can figure out reading patterns implicitly, meaning they can infer word patterns, understand phonics, and build vocabulary through practice and exposure. But many children's brains need reading instruction to be explicit, logical, and multisensory. They need to be directly taught the English code and basic reading skills in a systematic way that engages multiple senses simultaneously. This isn't a deficit, it's just a different learning style. And when children whose brains learn this way are taught with methods designed for implicit learners, they struggle. Not because they can't learn to read, but because the instruction doesn't match how their brain processes information. What I've discovered is that when you teach reading in an explicit, systematic, multisensory way, when you make the logic of our language visible and tangible, these children don't just learn to read, they thrive. And that's what the 5-stage system I created does. It's a completely different approach that integrates all 5 pillars of reading science: phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. It includes a personalized assessment and a customized learning path for your child. It includes one-on-one private tutoring, not group classes where your child gets lost in the crowd. It uses nationally recognized reading tools that have been adopted by thousands of top school districts across the U.S., tools that you can't purchase on your own. It includes supplemental video courses so your child can practice between lessons. And it focuses on building confidence alongside with skills, because we know that confidence is just as important as competence. Plus, you get parent support every step of the way, because you're part of this journey too. And here's the best part. We guarantee results in 12 weeks or less. Not 12 months, not 2 years, 12 weeks. Now, if this is starting to sound different from what you've tried before, you're right. So let me tell you the story of how I discovered this system, because once you understand where this came from, you're going to understand why it works so well. It started about 25 years ago in a classroom with kids who were doing their best and a system that wasn't. I was an elementary teacher, bright students, big hearts, and for about a third of them, the reading curriculum I was told to use just didn't reach them. They weren't a little behind. Some were already a full grade level or more behind. And you could see what that does to a child, how it changes the way they sit in their chair, the way they raise their hand, the way they see themselves. The school just passed those students from one grade to the next without ensuring they were ready. That's still happening today in schools all over the U.S., probably even at your child's school. I remember thinking, this can't be the story for these kids. I wanted every child, not just the implicit learners. I wanted them all to have a real shot at reading on grade level. Not someday, not maybe in a few years. Now, while confidence is still salvageable. But when I asked what else I could do, I got the same answer that you may have gotten from the school system. Use the adopted curriculum. Try the suggestions in the book. And I'm telling you, I felt trapped. Because I could see the effort. I could see the tears. I could see the avoidance. And I could also see that what we were doing wasn't built for the way their brains needed to learn. So I started searching for something better. something based on how the brain actually learns to read. And that's when I discovered Phono-graphix. I flew to Florida to train with the creators of the method, and it was one of those moments where you don't just learn something, you feel something click into place. Finally. Here was the truth I'd been missing. It wasn't that these kids couldn't learn, it was that they needed a different path. Explicit, systematic instruction that made the code of English clear, logical, and doable with fast results. I came home determined to use it because I knew I'd finally found something that could move the needle quickly. But my school wasn't willing to let me implement it the way I needed to. And that meant I had a choice to make. Keep doing what I knew wasn't working, or take a risk and do what I knew was right. So I left my teaching position and opened a small home-based clinic in 2000. And yes, that decision was scary. Financially, personally, emotionally. But I could not keep watching children fall through the cracks and call it acceptable. And then something happened that I will never stop being grateful for. Kids who had been struggling for years started making progress in weeks. Students who had been labeled dyslexic and behind started decoding at grade level in less than 12 clinical hours. Not because they suddenly got smarter, because they finally got taught in a way that made sense. But then I ran into another problem. Some students could read the words, but comprehension and fluency still weren't where they needed to be. So I did what I've always done. I kept learning. I kept building. I started integrating the other pillars that strong readers need: vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. Not as an afterthought, but as part of the plan. Years later, I worked with a 6th grader. Let's call her Emma. She's a very smart kid, years behind in reading, and she loved wolves. So we used that. We matched instruction to her brain and materials to her interest. And one day, she came across a challenging word. I started to help, but she said, "No, don't tell me. I can get it." And she did. That's when I knew we weren't just teaching reading skills. We were changing her identity from struggler to reader. Over time, that's what turned into my complete system, one that covers all 5 pillars of the science of reading. And then in 2024, I gained access to tools schools trust, Renaissance Learning's MyOn and Accelerated Reader, so students could finally have massive access to leveled books and tracking without me hunting down resources one by one. So today, after 25 years, I'm not guessing. I'm not hoping. I have a proven, complete system that works for all kids, not just the 70% who are implicit learners. And that's why I'm so serious about what I'm going to teach you next. Because if your child is struggling, time isn't neutral. It's expensive. Over the last 25 years, I've gone from a classroom teacher who felt powerless to a reading specialist who knows exactly what to do and why it works. I went from serving a small number of students each year in a home clinic to helping over 4,000 students throughout school since 2020. But here's what really drives me. I've watched too many children carry shame that never belonged to them. Kids who are smart, capable, full of personality, but they start to believe they're behind or not good at school or not a reader. And when a child's reading changes, it doesn't just change academics. It changes their identity. They believe in themselves, which is incredibly important to their future. Because once a child believes, "I can figure this out," that confidence doesn't stay inside reading. It spills into everything. And when parents tell me things like, "We saw improvements right away. He doesn't need an IEP anymore. She's picking up books on her own. She actually enjoys school now," that's when I knew this work matters. One parent told me, "We were at the end of our rope in 4th grade. We worked with Paula for 6 months. Completing her program was a turning point in my son's education. He's now graduating from college, and he couldn't be more grateful for the impact this program has had on his education." That's bigger than reading. That's a future. That's why I'm doing this. And yes, I track results because hope is not a strategy. In the last year alone, using the complete 5-stage system, we've helped over 100 students reach grade level, and out of those 100, only one has taken a little more time to get there. That's a 99% success rate. Not because it's magic. It's not a miracle. It's a complete system that gives your child what they actually need. Here's what another parent said. My son had dyslexia and dysgraphia. He had an IEP and was struggling to stay on grade level. Paula helped him get on grade level quickly, even during COVID, and kept him there. He's now in 7th grade and he no longer needs an IEP. So now you know where the system came from and why it works. Let me show you what it looks like. So let's get into the 3 secrets to help you transform your struggling reader into a confident reader. Here's secret number 1, the 5-stage system that gets your child reading on grade level in just 12 weeks. Now, before I break down each stage, I need to tell you something important. Most reading programs focus on just 1 or 2 pieces of the puzzle. They work on phonics or they work on comprehension, but they don't address everything your child needs to become a strong, confident reader. That's why kids get stuck. They make a little progress, but they never really break through. Our 5-stage system is different. It integrates all 5 pillars of reading science: phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. Every single one. And that's one of the reasons why it works when other programs don't. So let me walk you through all 5 stages and you'll see exactly how this comes together. Stage 1 is where we build the foundation using a method called Phono-graphix. Now, you've probably never heard of Phono-graphix, and there's a reason for that. It's not the trendy method everyone's talking about, but here's what you need to know. It's the fastest method out there for getting kids to decode and read. Other well-known programs like Barton, Wilson, and Norton-Gillingham, they're great, but they can take anywhere from 6 months to several years to get results. We're talking 90 days with Phono-graphix. So what makes it so fast? It's simple. Most reading programs follow a long preset sequence and spend a lot of time teaching rules and terminology before a child can reliably decode new words on their own. Phono-graphix does the opposite. We diagnose exactly where the breakdown is, then we directly work on the 3 core skills of blending, segmenting, and phoneme manipulation while introducing code knowledge, also known as letters and groups of letters that represent more than one sound. We're targeting the skills they need most first. We start with the simplest spelling patterns and build up when the child is ready, not on a predetermined sequence. Once that decoding engine turns on, they get meaningful practice with it every time they encounter an unfamiliar word. Now you might be wondering, if Phono-graphix gets kids decoding in about 12 hours of instruction, why is your program 12 weeks? Great question. Here's the thing. The Phono-graphix method gets kids decoding in about 12 hours of direct instruction. That's the phonics and phonemic awareness piece. But reading isn't just decoding. Your child also needs comprehension, vocabulary, fluency, and confidence. And to make sure those skills stick, to make sure your child doesn't just pass a test but become a lifelong reader, we spread those 12 hours of direct phonics instruction over 12 weeks with daily practice, video lessons, and strategic reading assignments. That's how we get the full transformation. Not just decoding, but confident, fluent readers who actually understand what they're reading. Okay, so now your child can decode words. They understand the English code. But here's the problem I kept running into when I was working with students using just Phono-graphix. They'd be doing great with simple words, and then they'd see a long word, something like understanding or beautiful, and they'd just freeze. They'd shut down. They had the skills, but they didn't have a strategy for applying those skills to bigger, scarier words. So I developed what I call my word attack strategy. It's a step-by-step system that gives kids a reliable process for tackling any word they encounter, even long, intimidating, multi-syllable words. Here's why this matters. Most kids are taught to use context clues and look at the pictures when they come to a word they don't know. But that's just guessing. And guessing doesn't build skills or confidence. In fact, it reinforces bad habits. Think about it. If there's a picture of a horse standing next to a house and your child sees a word that starts with H, they've got a 50-50 shot of guessing it correctly, but they haven't actually read anything. They're just hoping they get lucky based on a picture and the first letter. My word attack strategy teaches kids that our language has predictable patterns. Words aren't random. They're not puzzles you guess at. They're codes you crack. And once your child has a system for breaking down any word they see, they don't panic anymore. They don't guess. They use the strategy. And that builds real confidence because they know they have the tools to figure it out. That's what all parents want, isn't it? I know that's what I wanted for my kids. Now at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I could get the Reading Reflex book to learn phonographics. I could watch some YouTube videos or take an online class to learn about word attack strategies. What else do I really need? And that's a fair question. Those things will take you pretty far. But here's what's missing: comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency. And without those three pieces, your child might be able to decode words on a page, but they won't be a strong reader. So I built a curriculum that addresses all 5 pillars of reading science, and here's our secret sauce. We don't teach these skills in isolation. We weave them into every single lesson from day one. From the very first session, while we're teaching phonics, we're also modeling fluency. We're building vocabulary. We're asking comprehension questions. Your child probably won't even realize they're learning these skills as they go. But one day, maybe 3 or 4 weeks in, you're going to be listening to them read and you'll notice something. They'll stumble on a sentence, pause, and then go back and reread it on their own. And you'll say, wait, how did you know to do that? And they'll shrug and say, I don't know, I just did it. But I know, it's because we've been modeling it all along. We've been teaching them that good readers fix their mistakes. Good readers reread when something doesn't make sense. Good readers think about what they're reading, not just say words. And those skills, those habits, become automatic. That's the power of integrating all 5 pillars from the very beginning. We're not just teaching your child to read words. We're teaching them to become readers. All right, so we've got decoding, we've got word attack skills, we've got all 5 pillars woven into instruction, but here's the next challenge. How do you reinforce all of this on a day-to-day basis with interesting books that are exactly the right level for your child? Because if the books are too hard, your child gets frustrated and shuts down. If they're too easy, they're not building skills. And if they're boring, forget it. They're not reading. So how do you know what level of books to get? How do you find books your child will actually want to read? And how do you track whether they're really comprehending what they're reading or just moving their eyes across the page? This is where we bring in 2 powerful tools from Renaissance Learning, Mayan and Accelerated Reader. These are the same tools used by thousands of top-performing school districts, and they're only available to schools. You can't just buy them on your own. But we've built them right into our program. Here's how it works. Mayan has a placement test that shows us exactly what level your child's reading at. Then it gives them access to a massive digital library. We're talking over 200,000 books, organized by reading level and interest. So your child can pick books about dinosaurs, sports, mysteries, whatever they're into. And those books are at their instructional level. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. And then we use accelerated reader quizzes to track their comprehension. After they finish a book, they take a quick quiz. We see the results. We know if they're understanding what they're reading. And if they're not, we adjust. So your child is always reading at the right level with books they actually enjoy, and we're tracking their progress every step of the way. No more guessing, no more hoping, just data-driven practice that builds skills. Okay, our final stage, and this one's really important because here's what I hear from parents all the time. How do I know when we've actually reached grade level? How do I prove to the school that my child doesn't need interventions anymore? When does my child get their recess back instead of sitting in the reading help group? And here's the frustrating reality. Even if you've been working with your child at home and you know they've made progress, the school might not test them again for months. There's a wait list and there's a testing window. In the meantime, your child is still being pulled out of science or social studies for reading intervention, even though they don't need it anymore. So now, instead of being behind in reading, they're falling behind in other subjects. It's maddening. You've done the work, your child has done the work, but you can't prove it. That's why Stage 5 is all about assessment and having access to the right tools when you need them. We use My Placement Test and STAR reading assessments. Schools recognize these. They trust the data. And we can give your child these assessments whenever we need to, not when some testing window opens up months from now. We assess your child at the beginning of the program so we know exactly where they're starting. We assess again at 6 weeks so we can see if we're on track. And if we need to make any adjustments, we make them right then. And we assess at 12 weeks to confirm they've reached grade level. This isn't teach and hope. This is personalized, data-driven instruction. And if something isn't working, we don't just keep doing the same thing. We pivot, we adjust. Because every child is different, and this program is designed to meet your child exactly where they are. So those are the 5 stages. Phonographics to build a foundation, word or text skills to give them a strategy, all 5 pillars of the science of reading integrated from day 1, daily practice with the right tools, and ongoing assessment to prove success. When you put all 5 of these stages together, you get a system that has a 99% success rate. Now pause for just a second. I want you to think about something. Out of everything I just shared with you, the 5 stages, all the pieces of this system, which part would make the biggest difference for your child right now? Is it the phonographics method that gets them decoding fast? Is it having a word or text strategy so they stop freezing up on long words? Is it finally addressing all 5 pillars instead of just 1 or 2? Is it having access to My-On and Accelerated Reader? Or is it knowing you'll have real data, real proof that your child is making progress? Take a second and write that down. Because whatever jumped out at you, that's telling you something. That's the gap your child needs filled right now. Now, knowing the system isn't enough. There are 2 more secrets you need to make this work for your family. Secret number 2 is how to get buy-in from your child. A lot of parents tell me, I'm afraid to sign up because my child will refuse to participate and then I'll feel like I failed again. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this may not be a problem for everyone, but if it is a problem for you, it's probably a big one. Here's why. A lot of great programs require 2 one-hour sessions a week, and they can go from 6 months to several years before seeing results. But here's the deeper issue. Children who failed repeatedly have built up walls of resistance. They don't want to try again because they're afraid of failing again. They feel shame. They feel defeated. And when you tell them, we're going to try another program, they shut down because in their mind, it's just going to be more of the same. More struggle, more embarrassment, more proof that they're not smart, although we know better than that. So secret number 2 is the game changer. The key to getting your child to buy in is giving them a finish line they can actually see. Not someday you'll be a better reader. Now, we'll keep working on this until it gets better, but a clear, specific endpoint. 12 weeks, 3 months, and they're done with tutoring. When your child knows there's an end in sight, when they can count down the weeks on a calendar, they're far more likely to commit. Because hope isn't just, maybe this will work. Hope is, I can see the finish line. What if you can assure your child that yes, it's going to take a lot of time over the next 90 days, but after that, no more tutoring. You just need to keep up with your daily reading and do some maintenance lessons over the summer. And by the way, those maintenance lessons are self-paced video lessons they can watch at their convenience. They can do them in their pajamas. They can do them on a rainy day. They can do them whenever it fits their schedule. There's also the bonus that after they complete their 12 weeks of tutoring sessions, homework won't take as long to complete because they'll be reading better and faster. Imagine your child saying, "Mom, I can do this. It's only 12 weeks." Instead of, "I hate reading. I'm never going to get better." Here's what you can say to your child. "I know you've tried a lot of programs, and I know you're tired of struggling. I found something different. It's only 12 weeks. That's 3 months. And if you commit to those 12 weeks, you'll be reading on grade level and you won't need tutoring anymore. Can you give me 12 weeks? That's it. That's the conversation. And when they know there's a finish line, they're far more likely to say yes. So if you could tell your child, it's only 12 weeks and then you're done with tutoring, would that make it easier for them to get on board? Do you see the difference that could make? Now, the third secret I want to share with you is how to actually complete this program even if you have a crazy busy schedule. Because let's be honest, you're probably already overwhelmed. You're juggling work, kids' activities, homework, dinner, bedtime. The last thing you need is another thing on your plate, right? And that's exactly why most reading programs fail. Not because they don't work, but because parents can't sustain them. You start with the best intentions, but then life happens. Soccer practice runs late, your child gets sick, you have a work deadline, and suddenly you've missed 3 sessions in a row and you feel guilty and your child is falling further behind. So secret number 3 is really important. We handle everything for you. You just show up. Let me explain what I mean. First, we handle the scheduling. You're not trying to coordinate with a tutor who only has availability on Tuesday afternoons when your child has soccer. We have flexible scheduling options, morning, afternoon, evening, and we work around your family's schedule. And if something comes up and you need to reschedule, your reading success advisor handles it. You're not scrambling to figure it out. Second, we handle the curriculum. You're not trying to figure out what lesson comes next or which book is at the right level or how to teach comprehension strategies. Our certified reading therapists handle all of that. They assess your child, create a customized plan, and execute it. You don't have to be the teacher. Third, we handle the accountability. Now this is huge. Every family is assigned a reading success advisor whose job it is to keep you on track. They check in with you. They remind you of upcoming sessions. They celebrate progress with you. They troubleshoot challenges with you. You're not doing this alone. Fourth, we handle the practice. Your child needs daily reading practice, but you don't have to create the assignments or find the books. We give them access to Mayan, a digital library with 200,000 books so they can find books at their exact reading level and interest. We assign the books. We track their progress through accelerated reader quizzes. We even have self-paced video lessons they can watch at home to reinforce what they're learning. You just make sure they log in. And fifth, we handle the proof. When it's time to show the school that your child has reached grade level, you don't have to fight to get them retested or wait months for results. We assess them at 6 weeks and 12 weeks using the STAR reading assessment. You get the data you need when you need it. So what does that mean for you? It means your job is simple. Get your child to their 4 30-minute sessions each week, online, so no driving. Make sure they do their 15 to 20 minutes of daily practice. Celebrate their progress and success. That's it. We handle the rest. Now, if all you did was take these 3 secrets and implement them on your own, the 5-stage system, getting your child's buy-in with a clear finish line, and following through by keeping it simple, you could absolutely see results. Some of you will do exactly that, and I wish you the best. But here's the reality. Piecing this together yourself will take months or even years. Finding the right books, creating the curriculum, getting access to the assessment tools schools trust, keeping yourself accountable when life gets busy, and most parents who try end up frustrated and give up. So if you want the shortcut, if you want us to handle the heavy lifting while you just show up and watch your child transform, let me show you how that works. You've seen all 3 secrets, you understand the complete system, you know how to get your child's buy-in, and you know it's doable even with a busy schedule. Would you mind hanging around a little longer so I can show you exactly what it looks like to work with us? I'm going to walk you through everything you get when you enroll in our 12-week reading boot camp, and then you can decide if it's the right fit for your family. Fair enough? All right, but before I show you what you get, let me share what one parent said after going through this program. This is from one of our very first boot camp students. Well, his mom. Our son's reading scores were incredibly low, even after seeing the reading specialist for the entire school year. We were looking for summer tutoring for him when we found Reading Success Academy, and during the initial Zoom consult with Paula, I knew this program was special. He worked with Paul and Lucy 5 days a week all summer. They both took time to really get to know him and his interest. He loves Pokemon, so they would include Pokemon stories in the lessons. They were incredibly patient with him when he couldn't sit still or technology got the best of him. We started noticing improvement right away. Paula guaranteed he would be at grade level by the time he started 2nd grade, and he was. We were so excited that during his parent-teacher conference, we were told his scores were only 5 points below above grade level. Well, that's what this program does. Now let me show you exactly what you get. First, you get private and personalized one-on-one tutoring valued at $2,400. This is 48 half-hour private sessions. That's 24 hours total of one-on-one instruction with a trained reading specialist certified in the Phono-graphix method. Not group classes, not online videos, one-on-one. Your child gets customized instruction tailored to their specific needs, immediate feedback, and a relationship-based learning experience. One person told us, the one-on-one attention made all the difference. My daughter finally had a teacher who understood exactly what she needed. That's valued at $2,400. Second, you get the comprehensive assessment package valued at $600. This includes private intake testing to identify exactly where your child is and what they need. It includes 6-week progress testing to make sure we're on track, 12-week final testing to measure their growth, and detailed reports so you know exactly how your child is progressing. We use the Phono-graphix Basic Skills Test and the trusted Renaissance Star Reading Assessment. Another parent said, having real data from trusted assessments meant the school finally took our concerns seriously. That's valued at $600. Third, you get digital learning resources valued at $500. This includes downloadable worksheets and word list, customized reading assignments, digital games for spelling reinforcement, and access to both My Own Digital Library and Accelerated Reader. Everything your child needs to practice and reinforce what they're learning. That's valued at $500. Fourth, you get the comprehensive video course, also known as the Reading Roadmap, valued at $300. This is over 20 hours of video instruction covering lessons for beginning readers all the way through 4th grade, and you get access for a full year. So your child can watch the videos at their own pace, review lessons as many times as they need, and you can use it to support their learning at home. That's valued at $300. Next, you get the Parent Support System, valued at $1,200. This includes exclusive access to our parent community for a year, where you can access resources, ask our team questions, and connect with other parents. You get email support with a 24-hour response time. And you get regular progress updates from your child's Reading Success Advisor so you always know how your child is doing. And that's valued at $1,200. You also get a spelling program valued at $300. This is a full semester grade level appropriate curriculum that integrates with the reading instruction. It includes digital games for engagement and weekly assessments. Spelling and reading go hand in hand, and we want to make sure your child is strong in both. That's valued at $300. And finally, you get our Success Guarantee, which is priceless. Here's our guarantee. If your child hasn't reached grade level proficiency by the end of their program, whether that's 12 weeks or 24 weeks, we will continue to work with them at no extra cost. We continue private one-on-one tutoring at no cost until grade level proficiency as measured by the Renaissance Star Reading Assessment. We don't stop until your child is reading on grade level. Success is our only option. So when you add all of that up, the total value is $5,300. And don't forget the success guarantee, which is priceless because of the peace of mind it gives you. I don't know anyone else who does that. Now, before I show you the price, I want to ask you a few simple questions. If all this program did was get your child reading on grade level in the next 12 weeks, so you stop wondering, are we ever going to catch up? Would it be worth it? If all this did was end the nightly homework battles and the tears over reading, so evenings at your house could feel calm again instead of like a war zone, would it be worth it? If all this did was give your child their confidence back, so instead of saying, I'm stupid, I hate reading, they could finally say, I can do this. Would it be worth it? And if all this did was give you a clear plan and a team, so you don't have to Google and guess and piece things together anymore, would it be worth it? Most parents I talk to say yes, that alone would be worth more than the cost of the program. Fortunately for you, when you enroll in the 12-week reading bootcamp, you get all of that, not just one of those outcomes. Now, if you were to go out and try to put this together yourself, hire a tutor, buy the courses, get the assessments, somehow get access to Mayan and Accelerated Reader, you would easily spend $5,300 or more. But you'll be relieved to hear you're not going to pay $5,300. You're not even going to pay half of that. For everyone who takes this web class, the investment is just $2,400. That's less than half of the total value. We even offer a payment plan if that helps you get started right away. But wait, there's more. For everyone who enrolls in the next 48 hours, I'm going to include 3 exclusive bonuses. Bonus number 1, you get my 12-week self-paced maintenance course valued at $132. This will keep your child's newly learned skills fresh even after their tutoring sessions have ended. Your child will learn new vocabulary, practice their word attack skills, reinforce spelling, and get some proofreading practice in. It includes 5 daily lessons for each week. Each video is only around 15 minutes long, so it's easy to fit into a busy schedule. This is great for maintenance and for a refresher that can be completed over the summer. You have access to this course for a year. That's valued at $132. Bonus number 2, you get a vocabulary development course valued at $300. This is a self-paced course with word list, activities for deeper understanding, and context-based meaning strategies. We recommend completing this course after private tutoring sessions end. A strong vocabulary is essential for reading comprehension. That's valued at $300. Bonus 3. Your welcome package comes with a free copy of a book by the Phono-graphix program authors valued at $30. Use the book to better understand how to support your child's new good reading habits. We'll mail out your child's welcome package right after enrollment so they can look forward to getting something in the mail. That's valued at $30. So the total bonus value is $462. That brings the total value to $5,762. But your investment is still just $2,400. That's a savings of $3,362. Now, I know that's still a significant investment, but you're not just paying for 12 weeks of sessions. You're investing in your child reading on grade level, feeling confident and capable at school, and having a foundation that will follow them for the rest of their academic life. For most parents I work with, they say that's worth far more than the $2,400 tuition. If everything in you is saying, this is what we've been looking for, this is your moment to enroll. Click the Enroll Now button, choose your payment plan, and we'll take care of the rest. Now, I need to tell you something important about timing. You might be thinking, this sounds great, but maybe I should wait until summer when we have more time. That makes sense, but consider this. Every week your child struggles with reading, they fall further behind. and the gap gets harder to close. If your child is in second grade and reading at kindergarten level, if you wait 6 months, that means they could be in third grade and still reading at kindergarten level. Now 3 grade levels behind instead of just 2. The best time to start was last year. The second best time is right now. Did you know that children who are behind in third grade are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school? I don't say that to scare you. I say it because it's true. There's research to back that up. But here's the good news. You have the power to change that trajectory. You can give your child the gift of reading, the gift of confidence, the gift of a bright future. But you have to take action. You have to make the decision now. So if you're ready to give your child the gift of reading, if you're ready to see them transform from a struggling reader to a confident reader in just 12 weeks, here's what you need to do. Click the Enroll Now button on your screen. Complete the registration form. Check your inbox for a welcome letter from me. Make sure you check your promotions and spam folders for that email. Keep an eye on your inbox for an email from your Reading Success Advisor to set up your child's initial assessment. We'll take care of the rest from there. Now this is super important. We only accept 20 new students each month. That's it, 20. Because we want to make sure every child gets the personalized attention they deserve. And this special web class offer, the $2,400 price, and the 3 exclusive bonuses expires in 48 hours from the time you watch this. After that, the price goes back up to its regular price of $3,500, and the bonuses are gone. So if you want to take advantage of this offer, you need to act now. The reason this offer is only available for the next 48 hours is simple. As soon as we close this enrollment window, my team starts scheduling each child's placement testing and locking in our teachers' calendars. Because we work so closely with each student, we can only take a limited number of families in this cohort, and we have to finalize that roster within 48 hours so we can be fully prepared for your child. Let me paint a picture for you. You have 2 paths in front of you right now. You do nothing. You go back to doing what you've been doing. And 6 months from now, you're sitting at another parent-teacher conference hearing the same concerns. Your child is now even further behind. The other kids are reading chapter books while your child is still struggling with simple sentences. The gap is wider. Your child's confidence is lower. And you're thinking, I wish I had done something when I had the chance. Or you could take action right now. You enroll your child in the 12-week reading boot camp. Yes, it's intensive. Yes, it requires commitment. But 12 weeks from now, just 3 months, you're watching your child read confidently. You're hearing their teacher say, wow, what a transformation. You're seeing your child choose to read for fun. And you're thinking, that was the best decision I ever made. Which path do you want to be on? Now you might have some questions. Let me answer the most common ones. Question 1. Will this work for my child if they have dyslexia, ADHD, or other learning differences? Yes, absolutely. In fact, this program was specifically designed for children with dyslexia and other learning differences. It was designed to work with different learning styles, different attention spans, different emotional needs. That's why it's personalized. That's why it's one-on-one. That's why we have a 99% success rate. What if my child is really far behind? That's okay. We've worked with children who are multiple grade levels behind, and we've gotten them to grade level in 12 weeks. The further behind they are, the more they need this program. How much time does this require? Your child will have 4 tutoring sessions per week, each 30 minutes long, plus 15 to 20 minutes for the follow-up activities after each tutoring session. Often, their daily independent reading time is included in those activities. Remember, this is an accelerated and intensive program. You may need to reprioritize some activities to make this work, but it will be so worth it. Your child will have even more time for their favorite activities because they aren't struggling over homework every night. Now you might be thinking, 4 sessions a week? That's a lot. And you're right, it is. It's intensive. But here's why. we're not dragging this out for years. We're compressing what other programs do in 2 to 3 years into 12 weeks. That requires intensity, but it also means your child gets their life back faster. What if 12 weeks isn't enough? That's what our success guarantee is for. If your child hasn't reached grade level by the end of the program, we'll continue working with them at no extra cost. We don't stop until they succeed. Remember, you'll also have 1 year of access to all the self-paced courses, the reading roadmap, the spelling course, vocabulary course, and daily reading skills course for maintenance and extension. You also have parent support for a year in our community. And the last question, what's the difference between the 12-week and the 24-week programs? The 12-week program is intensive with 4 tutoring sessions a week, perfect for summer or homeschoolers. The 24-week program is less intensive with 2 sessions a week, best for students during the school year. Both programs guarantee grade level reading by the end. Question 6. You mentioned Phono-graphix. If it's so great, why can't I just hire any Phono-graphix tutor? And that's a great question. Here's the difference. Most Phono-graphix tutors only teach Phono-graphix. They don't integrate the other 4 pillars of reading science. They don't have access to Mayan and Accelerated Reader. They don't provide ongoing parent support and accountability. And they don't guarantee results in 12 weeks. Our program is the complete package. Now you may have some more specific questions, and I'm happy to answer those. You can just email me at paula@readingsuccessacademy.com and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Before I wrap up, I want you to just fast forward with me for a moment. Imagine it's about 12 weeks from now. You open your child's reading report or log into their reading dashboard, and instead of seeing below grade level, you see on track or above grade level. Their teacher pulls you aside at conferences and says, I don't know what you're doing at home, but whatever it is, keep going. I've seen such a difference. At home, your child isn't hiding during reading time. They're actually picking up a book on their own or volunteering to read a page out loud. The tension in your house around schoolwork is just gone. That's the future this program is designed to create. Every day that your child struggles with reading is another day that they fall further behind. Every day is another day that their confidence erodes a little bit more. Every day is another day that they believe they're not smart or not good at school. So I'm asking you, don't wait. Don't let another month, another year go by with your child struggling. Click the Enroll Now button, fill out the form, schedule the initial assessment. Give your child the future they deserve. Your child's confidence, academic success, and love of learning are worth it. And you're worth it too. You deserve to have peace of mind. You deserve to see your child thrive. So take action, click that Enroll button. I can't wait to work with you and your child. Thank you so much for watching this training. I know you have a lot of demands on your time, and I'm honored that you spent this time with me. And before life gets too busy, click that Enroll Now button so you're one of the 20 that get in this month. And let's get started. Thank you again. I look forward to working with you and your child inside the program.